Hello, everybody. I'm Jackie K. Cooper, and today I am honored to have the presence of Kelly Blatz. And we're going to talk, and you're going to find out a lot of things about him. He's an actor, director, writer. He runs the gamut. So, Kelly, welcome today. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, I've got to go to this to begin with. I saw the movie One Fast Move based on the fact that you wrote me. And
Yes.
I had gotten nothing across my desk, no information about this film. And out of the blue, here comes a letter from this guy saying, "Would you please consider looking at my film?" And I thought, well, this is kind of unique. I do get some like that. But there was something about the way you wrote your letter. I thought, I'm going to watch this guy's movie. And then I watched it, really, really liked it, and wanted to talk to you in person because you've just come out of nowhere for me
Yeah.
to present this film that you wrote and directed, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And it is the look of it, the acting of it, the story of it, everything is just top rate. Who
Oh,
are
wow.
you and where have you been?
Wow, thank you. Well, first, Jackie, thank you so much for first reading my email. Then second, taking the time to watch the film. For me, I'm always so grateful when people take the time. It's 2 hours out of your life to watch the film, and so that means so much to me. And also your kind words about it. I'm so glad that you enjoyed the film. I can't wait to discuss it with you. And this was a labor of love, about a 5 year labor of love for me, this particular film. And I've realized in your own career, right, in your own journey, you really have to be proactive in terms of I had read reviews of yours before, specifically the one on Top Gun Maverick I had seen, and I thought, gosh, I really like this guy and his take and his writing, and I that's why I reached out to you and sent it to you, and just luckily you responded. So I really appreciate it.
But yeah, I've done some research on you, Kelly, and you started out as a musician.
Hmm.
You've done several movies.
Hmm.
You directed two short film and then a full length film before
Yeah.
this. I mean, you have been getting it all done
Yeah.
with one fast move.
Hmm.
Was this a project that someone had already started and they need a director, or did you create this project and make yourself director?
I created this project. Yeah. So I guess working backwards with One Fast Move, I had done my first feature film called Senior Love Triangle, totally different type of film. I did that in 2018. And I am a motorcyclist and a motorcycle enthusiast myself. And I was also thinking about this story about a father and son, just thinking about what it means to be a man in the modern world, and being pulled in many directions in your mid 20s. And so I kind of combined those two questions, and wrote this film during COVID, actually. And I brought it to my management, who helped bring on producers and financiers and actors, and that was kind of a 3 year process from that point on.
But yeah,
um,
I have to stress this. This is not some, we're going to go as cheaply as we can production, or it doesn't look that way, which is the
mhm.
important thing. This is a glossy, well acted, well cast uh, motorcycle racing backdrop story. I agree with you. The relationships is the main, impact of this film.
Mhm.
But I just can't imagine how somebody just gets things done like you did.
No, I really appreciate it, man. I couldn't have done that without an extreme amount of help and people who believed in it along the way. You know, the very quick of it is that, you know, luckily with my first film, I had some support in terms of people wanting to help me make my next film. With the One Fast Move, I never thought I was going to be able to make the film because it was very expensive. You know, there's a lot of stunts, there's a lot of moving pieces, and luckily the pieces just kept falling together where, you know, I got introduced to producers who wanted to work with this actor, KJ Apa, who I brought him on and he loved the script. And so it was all those pieces, and the producers brought it to Amazon. And Amazon said, "We love this, we want to do it." And that's really what kicked it into
Wow.
gear and got, you know, got a you know, a very big budget for me behind the film. And so I am just so grateful that people got behind it. I had an amazing crew who got behind it, and I learned so much. And now it's finished and being set out into the world. So
Well,
yeah,
just having Amazon on board, that guarantees you a huge market of audience. Uh,
yeah.
and it's still there. People can go see it on Amazon Prime
Oh yeah, it'll
to
be
this
there.
day. Yes.
It'll be there forever. Yeah, I
But
think.
why did, you're an actor, why did you decide not to play the KJ Apa role?
Well,
If you
I
look like,
got
I
it.
believe you as a motorcycle rider.
Oh, thanks, man. You know, I got into acting because I wanted to be a director. You know, when I was in high school, I was making student films, and I had a friend who told me, you know, if you can work as an actor, you can make a living while learning how to make films if you just ask questions. And I thought that was an interesting idea, so I started studying acting instead of going to film school. And you know, I started working pretty early, and it was an amazing experience, but in my mid-20s I realized this is not my passion. This is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. You know, filmmaking is that, you know, writing and directing, which encapsulates all of the things I love, music and acting and photography and all these things. And so ultimately I'm fine not being in front of the camera these days. And you know, I was lucky enough to find KJ Apa, who was just a wonderful young talent who has just as much as passion as I did for this. And again, I just got lucky with the people who came on board along the way.
But not only did you get KJ Apa, you got Eric Dane, James Edward Olmos. You know,
Hmm.
those are solid actors. It's one of Dane's best performances that I've seen him give.
Mm.
They're all good. Uh, yeah, I didn't know much about KJ Apa except he was Archie on
Yeah,
Riverdale, or
yeah.
what it's called, and he fits right into that role.
Hmm.
The dynamic
Yeah.
between the actors are amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got very lucky with, for instance, with Edward James Olmos. When I was writing the script, I was imagining him as the role of Abel, not thinking that I was able going to be able to actually get him, you know, to play the part. But you know, when the time came and we sent him the script saying this is my dream, you know, my dream choice for this, he loved the script and the world and said yes. And so it's similar with Eric Dane. You know, I really loved Eric Dane, and especially for this particular role. And you know, we got him a couple weeks before we started shooting, and then just the dynamic between him and KJ was really just, for me, really incredible and set the tone for that entire film. And Maya Rafiko, who plays Camilla, was a discovery for me.
Where did you
You know,
find her? I'd never seen her before.
yeah, you know, I was made aware of her through the casting director, and she was from Argentina. She had just started, you know, she had just done this TV show for HBO called Pretty Little Liars, and I just thought that she had there was a luminosity to her. You know, she lit up the screen, and that was really the essence that I really wanted for Camilla. In this particular film, you know, was a light, and a light for Wes, and that he could be drawn towards. And so again, I just got each step of the way, believe me, Jackie, I was going, I really can't believe it's gotten to this point. I really can't believe we're doing this. I really can't believe I've gotten these amazing actors. And so for me, I just have an immense amount of gratitude that the fact that Amazon, with the reach that it has gone behind the film to put it out into the world. I'm just so thrilled.
I can't imagine what it was felt like when you looked at the finished product
Mm.
because it looked so good.
Oh, thank you.
Did y'all film in Atlanta?
We did.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh wait, we did. Wait, where are you? Are you from Georgia?
Yeah, I'm in Georgia right now. I'm 100 miles
Where?
below Atlanta, a little town
Where?
called Cary, Georgia, right below Macon.
No way. Well, I love Georgia.
I
I
was
fell
looking there
in.
and I thought, that looks like Georgia.
Oh, it is. It's Atlanta. It's north of Atlanta as well. The racetrack, the main racetrack is in Brazelton. I don't know if you know Brazelton. It's called Road Atlanta is the racetrack. And also Atlanta Motor Speedway, which is about an hour south of Atlanta, is where we shot a lot as well. And I just fell in love with Georgia. The people, incredible crews as well, but the food, I mean, me and my wife just we wanted to move there, honestly.
Come on down. Come on down. You know, there's so many elements of this movie that I want to talk about, but the motorcycle racing scenes, where was the camera? Because I felt like I was on the road on that motorcycle. It was the visuals of that. How did that set up?
I'm glad you felt like you were on the back of the motorcycle. You know, for me, one main thing to start was that I didn't want to use, yeah, yeah. People were telling me as they're watching it, they're leaning into the curves, which
I
is,
was, okay, we got to make this curve, got to miss curve.
oh, I'm glad. You know, for me, again, I didn't want to use visual effects. I didn't want to use a backdrop or a green screen. And so my approach was I
Definitely,
want to,
it's not green screen. I mean,
yeah.
I know they can do a lot of things, but this is real.
Yeah, no, and thank you. That was the approach was I wanted to shoot real races, find real racers in Georgia, which we did, and set up these races, and then find a way to shoot them at speed, which you know that main camera that you're talking about, we put a film camera, a movie camera on a race bike, you know, with a real racer on it, and we put it on the front of the bike, on the back of the bike. We built a custom race car that could weave in and out and keep up with the bikes. We used a helicopter for the aerials because drones can't go that fast. I mean, we shot every possible vehicle you could shoot from. We shot from to capture these races.
Well, it paid off because you do feel like you are right there in those races. Yeah.
Oh, that good. I'm glad that
But
was
I
the
mean,
goal. Yeah.
Kelly, did you come up with all that? Did you say, hey, let's put the camera back here, let's put the camera up here?
Yeah, it was me and I had an amazing team, you know. Rudy Weber was my stunt coordinator, Dave Cutler was my motorcycle coordinator. I mean, I had Greg Smurs who worked on Mission Impossible. You know, he did the famous Tom Cruise motorcycle scene in the canyons. He was a second unit director. Yeah, so I had an amazing team, and my director of photography, Luca Del Puppo, you know, we were all sitting in rooms months beforehand trying to develop the tools and the strategy to be able to capture the races at speed. So no, it was not just me at all. It was a team of people who all, you know, basically my whole vision was like, we don't want to use green screen, so let's try to do this for real. And that kind of set the tone, I guess.
Again, amazing shots in that. But as I've said, the focus really is the relationship. And you co-wrote or you wrote the script,
Wrote the
and
script, yeah.
and the scenes that deal with these father issues in in all four of the characters, really, because KJ Appa has his scenes with his father, played by Eric Dane, who talks about his own conflicts with his father, and then Edward James Olmos talks about his family,
Hmm.
how he sacrificed
Hmm.
life dedicated to motorcycle racing, and then the love interest. There are, issues there about fathers and children, etc.
Hmm. Hmm.
What threw you onto that concept of dealing with basically four sets of father-child relationships?
Well, there's two main things. You know, one main thing was I've had, you know, I was lucky enough to have my own father and still do. He's an amazing man. But I have a lot of friends and family members who did not have fathers, whose fathers left or were not present and I saw how that affected them, and how painful that was, and the hole that it left in their lives, and the ripple effect of when they became fathers. And I just started to see that it was something that was a lot more common than it used to be, from studies I've read. And so I started studying that as something that the what fatherlessness does. Also in my own life, thinking about going into my late 20s was, do I want to be a father, or do I just want to pursue my passion at all costs and not have a family? And is that what it takes to sacrifice your family to, to do something great? And so there's these questions that were going on in my head. And so, you know, I was using this story as a way to explore those themes. You have Dean, who is somebody who chose the path of complete selfishness, leaving his
Derek Day.
son.
Yeah.
It was Eric Dane's character, to pursue motorcycle racing, leaving his son. Um, and how did that affect him? How did that affect Wes? And then you have Abel, who he had a wife, but he pursued his career and, over having children, right? But he has regrets about it. And then you have Camilla, the love interest, who her partner left her child, but she chose to stay and be a mother to this child as opposed to pursuing her own dreams. And so for me, Wes was sort of this blank slate coming in, going, being pulled in Dean's direction and Abel's direction and Camilla's direction. And ultimately, by the end of that, can you find the balance of being able to pursue your passion, but also, be a father and, have a family? And so, anyways, those were the
What
questions I
did
was
you
asking.
decide?
I'm sorry?
What did you decide?
That you can have both. That you
That's
can have both. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask you, I was looking at your acting career, and your last movie that I could see was Lauren and Rose
Yeah.
at opposite Jackie Bisset. That
Yes.
blew my mind. What was it like working with her?
Oh, really incredible, Jackie. She's just, obviously she is a legend, and um
See,
being
I'm
able
old
to,
enough. I've seen her whole career, uh,
right.
and just have always been fascinated by her.
Oh, she is a fascinating actress and human being. Her and I became very good friends. She actually came to the premiere of One Fast Move.
Oh, that is
Uh,
great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll send you a photo of her and I there. But she, that whole film was, I was playing a young filmmaker who was, working with this actress. And the whole film is her and I talking, essentially, a la, My Dinner with Andre. And um, so what a gift it was for me to sit across from Jacqueline Bisset, and speak with her for a month. It was a total dream come true for me, but it was also quite symbolic for me, because I was essentially playing a young filmmaker who was just starting his filmmaking career, and it ended up being my last movie as an actor. So, yeah, she's wonderful. She's still one of my very good friends. I love her.
When you were coming along, Kelly, what what movies influenced you? Did you
Oh.
have, I mean, when did you become aware of the role of a director and the
Mm.
impact of a director?
Oh, so many. And I want to ask you as well, because I'm fascinated. I want to hear about your intro into movies. But, you know, my favorite film of all time, I would have to say, is Good Will Hunting by Gus Van Sant. There's something about that movie that just knocks me out. The performances, I feel like the script is perfect. It's about a few characters intersecting in each other's lives, dealing with their own traumas, and by the end are changed even in subtle ways by it. I love Milos Forman, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Amadeus. Frank Capra is a hero of mine. It's a Wonderful Life. Mr. Smith Goes to War. I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, current day directors, I enjoy Scott Cooper's films. I like Jane Campion. I mean, so many. But I would say that the film that impacted me the most, or the two, have been One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Good Will Hunting. I would say that continually knock me out. What about you? I want to ask you the same question.
It's funny because people are always asking, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite movie? And I've given different answers at different times because I've been in different places at different times. But uh, I just had my birthday, and my son gave me a wall hanging of the one sheet from The Umbrellas of Cherbourg. I don't know if you've ever seen that
Of
movie.
course, my wife is French, so of
Oh,
course I've seen it.
ah,
Yes.
but I grew up in a little tiny town. I don't want to make this interview about me, but I grew up in a tiny town, Clinton, South Carolina, had one movie theater and never thought of having a foreign film, play. We just saw the
Yeah.
standard American fare. And I went to college in a small town, went to law school in Columbia, South Carolina, the state capital, and had an apartment right above a little section called Five Points that had a fine arts theater.
Mhm.
And one day I stumbled into the Umbrellas of Cherbourg, and I realized there was a whole other world of movies.
Mm.
And everything about that movie was beautiful to me. It still holds up. I've got it and I play it ever so often.
Mm.
But I was in law school and I was telling my friends, there's this French movie called The Umbrellas of Cherbourg that you really ought to see. And they're like, what? And that really was the impetus for me becoming a critic
Really?
because I wanted people to know about these movies that they didn't know anything about.
Wow.
And
I love that. Love that.
that's that was the charging force that
Wow.
put me on the road.
What a beautiful story, stumbling in this arts theater and seeing
I mean,
being a
can you imagine a kid from South Carolina who'd barely been outside the state during his
yeah.
life, and you see a whole new world.
Wow. It's just incredible. That's the magic. First of all, happy birthday, happy belated birthday. That's
Like,
the magic. That's the magic of cinema and movies, is that you can stumble into a theater and see something that completely alters your life and your perception of life. And it's such a gift what you're doing. Finding these films, even watching One Fast Move, and you're doing this been doing this for years, finding these films and
hundreds,
share I mean, I can't,
dozens.
yeah, thousands, I assume. And sharing these films is such a gift that you're giving. It really is such a gift. So thank you for doing that.
Let me tell you, Kelly, it's lately, I love it, but you know, since COVID, used to I have had to go to screenings or but they send you everything.
Yeah,
And once your name gets out there, you get, I mean, I didn't have a clue there were that many movies made
right,
released every week.
right.
And I just last year there was a movie, I don't know if you saw it, called Mending the River.
No.
It was about veterans with PTSD and how fly fishing. I love that movie. And
Hmm.
I pushed that movie in every way I could. And it again, it was like with umbrellas. I wanted people to know about
Yeah.
this movie. I just saw a movie called My Old Ass. I don't know if you've heard of
Uh-huh.
it.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Fantastic movie.
Uh-huh.
Just came out of nowhere. It just blew me away.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for now. And I found that with One Fast Move. It was a movie that was just a serendipitous,
Mm.
because I didn't expect it, and it came, and I was so entertained.
Mm.
And
Wow.
that's what I'm spending the rest of my career doing. I
Yeah.
review the big movies, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
searching for those smaller movies. And that's why I was so thrilled when you asked me to look at your movie, and it paid off. So
Oh, that means so much to me, Jackie. Seriously, I mean,
I don't know if you follow, you'll see I don't like what I don't like.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here to trash somebody or anything, but I will say it just didn't work for me, etc.
Yeah.
Because if I like it, like I did One Fast Move, I want people to know, hey, he really means it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, well, I feel extremely honored that you
I,
really, I do. I have to say that because, um these films, they come from uh, the deepest part inside you, that it's your passion, it's your love, just as movies are for you. And so when you spend the time to do it and you express something that you feel like is true for yourself, for somebody to recognize that and take the time to see it and to recognize what you were going after is just, it's such a joy. So I just have to thank you.
but
Yeah.
it just blows my mind that there's this group now. This My old ass was written and directed by a young woman named Megan Park. I'd never heard of her.
Hmm.
I just interviewed a guy named Jake Allen who has a movie
Hmm.
out called Ride. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
and again, writer, director, Jake stars in his film, but there's this new crop coming along that are so talented. And
Mm.
that gets me excited. It really does. And one last question, because I've got to know you've got to go on either too. But what's next? What are you planning next? You won't
That's
have to write me and say, "Would you look at this?" I'm going to be keeping an
yeah.
eye out.
Oh,
I'll jump on it.
thank you, Jackie. There's two things. One is a script that was brought to me that I just fell in love with. I can't disclose too much right now, and
Okay.
because I'm attached to direct it. Incredible script with some great actors. I'll keep you updated on that, especially once it's official. But totally different than One Fast Move. Not has zero action at all. But I'm also writing something that's been a passion project of mine about a friend of mine who's dealing with addiction. He's a musician. And so those two things, I know that's very vague, so I'm
Oh,
sorry
but
I can't
I'm
be more
glad you've
specific.
got projects on your mind. That's what
Yeah,
well, I'm just kind of waiting to see what, no, I want
yeah.
something more, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, there are definitely projects in the works and happening. And this other one might be shooting actually in January, February. So I will I will keep you updated with that. But I'm just as excited about you as you are about these new films and new filmmakers. I'm trying to watch as many as I can, and you're always searching for, like you said, this thing that affects you and really grabs you out of nowhere, especially because there are so many films made these days, so it's hard to keep up. But you're doing the
Almost like
great work.
a new wave, just these people who not only can direct, they can write, they can
Mm,
spark. You have single threat, double threat, triple threat, and that's
yeah.
just makes me so optimistic, about the future.
Oh, good.
And the great thing about movies, in my line, is you don't run out. There's always somebody new
Yes.
along, somebody talented who's out there waiting and coming along. But listen, Kelly, this has been wonderful. I'm so glad you took the time to talk with me because I'm really interested in your career. You better keep me informed about what's coming up, or I'll be hounding you. Oh, where is it? But thanks again.
Oh, Jackie, thank you again for taking the time to watch the film, for having me on. And I wish I could do this for a couple more hours to talk movies with you, but I will be keeping up with all of your reviews. I can't wait to hear. You'll be my source for good films coming out. And again, I appreciate it. I'm so grateful. And let's please talk soon. All right. And then maybe I'll see you in Georgia soon.
Oh yeah. But listen, everybody. One Fast Move is on Amazon Prime. You can go right as soon as you get through watching this, just go right over to Amazon Prime and watch it. It's You're going to be entertained, so relax and enjoy it. And Kelly, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jackie.
This has been Jackie K. Cooper and my interview with Kelly Blatz.